So yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm like thinking that, well, not thinking, I'm wondering whether we have all the information about Fergie and Camilla. Because, you know, I thought they had resolved this issue with Royal Lodge and, the casting of Andrew and Fergie onto the streets basically and into the burial ground property known as Frogmore Cottage, where thankfully Meghan and Harry, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, escaped several years ago for much more appropriate digs in Montecito, California. So apparently they want to dump Andrew out of his posh 30-room mansion called Royal Lodge and stick him in Frogmore Cottage on the site of the burial ground where thankfully Meghan and Harry escaped several years ago for a $14 million chateau in sunny Montecito. So then I started to think, okay, wait a minute. What's really going on here? What's really behind this push to evict Andrew? Because we know that Fergie lives with Andrew in Royal Lodge, and Andrew has not been associated publicly anyway with any woman in decades. So my suspicion is, my personal suspicion, which I probably shouldn't say it, is that Fergie and Andrew, you know, Fergie is giving Andrew consortium. She's giving him consortium. Evict. So now, come to find out that now that Camilla is queen, Fergie's homeless. Within literally days of the coronation, she's being asked more strongly to vacate the property and move to the one on the burial ground site or the site of the burial ground. So my big question is, what did Fergie do to Camilla? Because my sense is the following. I'm still in the process of shaping, I should say, my impressions of Camilla. Who is Camilla? Like, really, what is her modus operandi? She looks rather chic here, I must say. So she has a stylist, obviously. Obviously. And that's a very nice look. Okay. Now, what did Fergie do to this woman? You know what I'm starting to think or wonder. I'm starting to wonder whether Camilla is really spiteful. I'm wondering because these types of transactions where you're throwing someone out of their home after 20 years, whatever. Okay, yes, he had this thing with Jeffrey Epstein. It was inappropriate, it was wrong, potentially it was criminal. I mean, I don't know. Okay, he settled millions of dollars, whatever. It's embarrassing, but I mean, look who's talking, right, about embarrassing to the family. I mean, with all due respect, with all due respect, of the history of Camilla's relationship with her now husband, King Charles. I mean, no judgment, but I'm just saying, if we're going to be casting stones at other people, we first have to examine, ourselves, I think, right? I mean, I think it's true for everybody. It's universally true. And so the idea that, well, okay, Andrew loses his house because he was less than perfect, he committed wrongdoing. Okay, but I mean, who hasn't committed wrongdoing, Camilla, right? Who hasn't committed wrongdoing? Let's be honest. Let's be fair. Who has not committed wrongdoing, right? And that's not to excuse them because, like I said, Fergie talks out of two sides of her mouth. I mean, at least I can't say that about Camilla because I hardly have ever heard Camilla speak except for one time. And I was shocked by her voice, to be perfectly honest with you. She has a much, much deeper voice than mine. I mean, I thought I had a deep voice. Her voice is very masculine. It's very masculine. I thought it was a man speaking, right? So it doesn't go with her frail little self. I mean, that is a strong voice. Her voice is stronger than Charles's voice. Okay, that's it. I mean, that's not to say anything. I think deep voices are very sexy on a woman, like Demi Moore. She always had a deep voice. I mean, I have a deep voice, right? But I mean, Camilla's voice is like monotoned deep. It's like she's bass. She has a bass. It's not even a baritone. It's a bass, right? So I'm thinking, wow, okay. But I digress. So now, why does she hate? Well, maybe I mean, let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. I don't know that she hates Camilla. Okay, I mean, I don't know that she hates Fergie, but she definitely has the power to throw um, Fergie onto the streets. She is the queen now, right? She has all the jewels. Not even Princess Anne and none of those people can save Fergie if Camilla decides Fergie has to get off the property. Nobody. If Camilla decides Fergie stays because she's going to tell Charles, no, Fergie stays because I said so. And if you don't let her stay, I will not give you consortium for the next 365 days. And you need your consortium, right? And then Prince Charles will let Fergie stay if Camilla says Fergie stays. So Camilla is clearly not saying that Fergie stays. You see? So my big thing is, what happened here? What happened? Apparently something happened. Was it at Balmoral? Something apparently and allegedly happened at Balmoral just before Eugenie's wedding, apparently. And Fergie got into this big fight with Camilla about Diana, which is incomprehensible because you hear this and then you hear that Diana supposedly sold out Fergie to the press. Just yesterday I read that in The Cut, in an article saying that, well, Harry should just basically, poo-poo this whole lawsuit against the Daily Mirror because his own mother sold out her BFF Fergie and told the press all the dirt about Fergie's wedding. I mean, look, I have no idea, right? So this idea that Fergie was so close with Diana that she cussed out Camilla at Balmoral is like kind of incomprehensible on all kinds of different levels. But clearly something happened because Fergie was not at the coronation. And I find that to be curious. Even if she is no longer married to Andrew, if she were a friend of the Duchess's, she could even have been a lady in waiting. If she and Camilla were BFFs, if she had been on Camilla's side during the Diana days and so on, Camilla would have repaid Fergie for sure. Right? So the fact that Camilla does, wow, I mean, money makes a big difference in a person's life, money and status, because what she used to look like 20, 30 years ago and what she looks like now, even though she's old, I think is nothing short of remarkable. I mean, she looks remarkable. And it tells me that clothes and jewelry makes a woman, right? Clothes, jewelry, and money makes a woman. I think even I could look good. If they can get her to look like that, I could actually improve myself with some money. Now, it's going to take a lot, but it's possible. Now, that said, I digress. So, I think that if indeed, Camilla had anything to do with the tossing of Andrew and Fergie out of Royal Lodge, I mean, and that's a big if. Well, that's not even my question. I really believe that Camilla potentially is behind this toss of Fergie and Andrew to the burial site known as Frogmore Cottage. And there's some kind of beef with them because Fergie was not even invited to the coronation. And it tells me that, and this is not the first person that's being kicked to the curb since Camilla took the reins at the palace. So it tells me that Camilla is a very, very formidable woman. Don't cross her. She holds a grudge and she acts on that grudge and she destroys you. She destroys, right? Don't mess with Camilla. That's what that's saying. And Harry hinted at it that he was sacrificed at her PR altar according to him, right? This is not a weak woman. Now, this is not a weak woman, and this is not a woman you mess with. She will get her revenge. See you in the next one. Take care.